I'm no fan of U.S. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and even less of a fan of his wife, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao. But I prefer them immeasurably to the left. As they were leaving an event in Georgetown Monday night, McConnell was swarmed by open borders activists. Not only is Mitch getting up there in years, he suffered polio as a little boy and has some issues with getting around at times. Chao had a big surprise for these leftists. She turned on them and got in their screaming faces, telling them to leave her husband alone. This tiny little lady savaged her husband's attackers. It was impressive. She was like a honey badger and let the vile protesters have it with her claws out. No victimhood here, just one very ticked-off wife. Chao gave them a taste of their own medicine. One protester, just inches from Chao, repeatedly shouted, "How do you sleep at night?" Another asked McConnell why he was separating families, to which Chao said, "He's not." Chao also pointed her finger at the protesters, saying several times, "You leave my husband alone, leave my husband alone." Several big tough young guys were being held back by a blonde, female security agent. They should be ashamed of themselves attacking people like this. It looked like it could have gotten violent very easily, but Chao didn't even flinch. McConnell has a heck of a brave wife. This follows on the heels of Maxine Waters trying to incite violence against Trump administration officials. Waters said, "History will record while he tried to step on all of us. We kicked him in his rear and step on him." Already, you have members of your cabinet that are being booed out of restaurants. Who have protesters taking up at their house, who say, "No peace, no sleep. No peace, no sleep," and so, let's stay the course. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up, and if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere. That didn't work this time. Good. This is just one of many attacks over the last week against those connected to President Trump over his zero-tolerance immigration policy. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen was chased out of a restaurant and surrounded at her home. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi was attacked at a screening of a documentary and fled the confrontation. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders with 7 members of her family was kicked out of a Red Hen restaurant in Lexington, VA. ICE facilities are being protested and attacked across the country. And let's not forget the senior DHS official who found a burned, decapitated animal carcass on his porch. Karen Pence was attacked by one of Kimmel's goons on Twitter with vile sexual jabs. Actor Peter Fonda threatened Barron Trump with RE&DH. Other GOP officials' families and children have also been threatened. In addition to the protests, thousands of employees have had personal data leaked on social media. On Thursday, WikiLeaks published information on more than 9,000 supposed current and former ICE employees, saying it is important for increasing accountability. According to the Washington Post, DHS had already determined there was a heightened threat to their people in response to recent government actions surrounding immigration, according to a letter sent to employees over the weekend. This assessment is based on specific and credible threats that have been levied against certain DHS employees and a sharp increase in the overall number of general threats against DHS employees. Claire Grady, Acting Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, wrote to employees on Saturday. Aides to President Trump are being advised to be armed just in case. I'm beginning to wonder if this isn't going to end in violence in the streets. Why were the protesters that accosted McConnell allowed to get so close? Security should never have let that happen. It could have ended very badly. A protester who identifies as Roberto posted a video to his Twitter account on Tuesday stating, "We confronted as Senate Majority Leader and as Sec Elaine Chao with that pro-public audio of children separated from their families at the border while leaving at Georgetown event. We must #abolish ICE and #abolish CBP, #freedom for immigrants." Describing himself as a rising senior at the university, Roberto explained that he learned about the official's visit to campus from a friend after returning from his internship at United We Dream. "That's another radical group. My parents are Mexican immigrants, and I was infuriated that a man who blocked the DREAM Act and a Trump cabinet official were invited to my campus," Roberto tweeted. "As a result, my friends quickly mobilized and went to the event that was held inside Copley Formal. He referenced the exchange between Chao and the protesters, adding, "My question is why they won't leave our families, friends and communities alone? As my friend said, how do you sleep at night? Freedom for immigrants." And to be honest, I cannot fathom how these movers of racism, discrimination and hate sleep at night, he tweeted. Cabinet officials like Elaine Chao might not like to hear it, but she and her husband bear responsibility, and we won't stop telling that truth everywhere they go. Abolish ICE. Yes, there are many uber Mexican Marxist nationalists who would love to do away with ICE and the rule of law. So would the Democrats. They'd love to throw the border wide open to basically take back parts of the U.S. for Mexico and establish a permanent Democratic voting base. It's not going to happen. If this keeps up, it's only a matter of time until something very bad happens. It needs to be stopped.